Just had a great interview with the owner of the Comedy Chateau and also a great comedian himself, Felix McNulty. And you're going to have to follow him on social media. So I'll let you in on a little secret before I start the show. Luckily, I recorded with two cameras because my main camera with the good microphone didn't record. Now, I know what you're saying, Tom. Why don't you just go redo the 30-minute interview? I'm not telling that man a 30-minute interview before I get on stage. No! So do me a favor. Bear with the awkwardness. Listen to the show. Tell Felix you had a good time listening to him on the Tom Kelly Show podcast, and hopefully he'll forget I this up the next time I come to Los Angeles. Let's start the show.
The Tom Kelly Show. Everybody, I want you to go to the Tom Kelly Show. I want you all to know about the Tom Kelly Show.
And then there'll be music playing. I have a theme song too, Felix. And here we go. And content warning. Spoiler alert. Someone break out your damn guitar. You are experiencing the Tom Kelly Show. I'm here with my friend Felix McNulty. He's a stand-up comic who owns a comedy club in California. And every time I've come out here to work at the $100,000 Pyramid and the other game shows I've done warm-up for out here, Felix has treated me like family. And he's given me an excuse to visit other family, by putting me on his beautiful, beautiful, beautiful stage, which we're on now. Felix, were you a comedian first or a comedy club owner first? Let's start with that.
Comedian first.
Comedian first? When did you start comedy?
I started comedy probably 25 years ago.
25 years ago. Now you're also a lawyer.
Yes.
And we're a successful one. You made a living.
Debatable.
Okay.
No, yes, very successful. That's how I got the club.
Why the hell would a guy who's a successful lawyer start doing comedy in the early days of it?
All right, well, I'm from East Coast. I'm from Philly. Grew up in Philadelphia.
Okay, were you a lawyer there or here?
I went to Villanova Law School, East Coast.
Right.
Like you, half Irish, half Italian.
Right.
Came out here, started back in Philly. I was in a band and a singer and
Okay, so you're a performer.
all that stuff. And then when I was doing that on the East Coast, I was always Jesus Christ, am I ever going to be able to make it at doing this? So I hedged my bets and I said, you know what, I better go to law school just in case.
Okay.
So I did all that, came out here, started practicing law, and started practicing law like you wouldn't believe.
What kind of law?
I was specialized in personal injury and workers' compensation and employment law stuff.
Okay.
Real high value business.
But stressful, that business, from what I've heard.
I had thousands of clients, literally by myself, thousands of clients, and I burned out quick.
Yeah, I mean, I read up the books on the East Coast. There's a book on Salino and Barnes, which was a big New York area injury attorney. But they made their money on volume, not on individual cases.
Yeah, well, that's a whole different ballgame.
Is it?
Barnes. Yeah, that's your people on the billboards, and they all over the country.
Were you a billboard guy?
Oh, no. I was always a hands-on guy, doing my own work.
Okay.
Hands-on with the clients. But I just burned out, and I said, you know what? Can you see the F word on this?
Yeah, sure. Fuck it.
I was like, fuck this shit. I can't. You know what? I'm going to sell my practice, give this up, and I'm going to become a stand-up comedian.
So you really gave it up. You didn't just do both at the same time.
So then I gave it up, got rid of the practice, moved to LA, and started hitting the mics.
So when you started hitting the mics, you weren't worried about screwing up your law career. You were done.
No, I was done because I figured, I'll just do this 100 times, and all of a sudden I'll be real great at this craft, and I can make a living doing this.
Okay. Where was your first open mic?
Well, the first open mic I had was Catch a Rising Star in New York.
Okay. Oh, geez.
Yeah,
and you did age both of us.
No. I was. It was.
But Catch has gone since the 90s.
Yeah, it was close. So I did a set. Well, I'll give you the history. I did a set there, waited in line. Had to be 5 in line. I was in Philly. Went to New York, and got a spot there. Then did my first comedy night ever. I think this would be a breeze. Went up there with my guitar and. It was like I was a deer in headlights. It was really traumatic. It was the MC who was, what the hell is his name? I can't remember his name. He's bad. Anyway, he used.
No, wait, hang on, describe him. I'll cut
Richard
it.
Jennings.
Oh, shit.
So Richard Jennings, the MC, and I got up on stage. The place was packed. I looked at the audience and I freaking froze. I mean, oh my God, I could. I'm gonna make these people laugh. So anyway, I did so bad that Richard used me as my name as the running joke all night. So anytime he would say my name, the audience would.
So you really did stop and stare.
No, I stopped and stared and I went through the motions,
Wow.
but it was terrible.
Okay.
And I had friends there that came from Philly to see me, so I couldn't just leave because they were in the audience. And every time he said my name, my stomach, it was devastating. And the one part I'll remember the most was I was driving back from New York to Philly with my friends in the car.
Oh, I hate
and
that.
you could drop a pin and not a word was spoken.
So
it was terrible. So anyway.
No, but that feeling you're describing to this day, that's why I don't let friends see me perform. I've been on television. You can watch me after, but I don't want you in the room.
No, I mean, it was a valuable lesson, but it's full circle.
Yeah.
So a few years later, I came out. I got back on the horse again.
So there was no regret, like when you're first getting back on the horse. Your first couple of sets had to be tough sets. You're performing for empty rooms. Did you have any regret?
Yeah, but back then you think you're good.
Yeah?
You're not.
Okay.
It's the art of comedy. You think it's funny and all that, and you develop and you grow and all that. If I look at my tapes now from back then, it's
Okay.
holy.
So you were confident there was no
Sucked.
regret at the beginning of doing it?
No, because it was fun, and it was fun. You party in the whole community of comics, and then Mike. It was just a fun thing. And then, but the part for me was running out of money.
Okay. Did you run out of money?
Of course, I ran out of money. I said, "Holy fuck, what am I going to do now?" So I had to get back into the law again.
Okay.
So then I got back into the law, and then
With injury stuff again out here?
yeah, workers' comp, and worked for different firms, and
Yeah.
get back into it and start to develop my own practice again. But the key thing was that I realized, hey, you can do both. I can balance
Can you?
it. Oh, yeah.
See, now that's
So
a
I can
question.
keep the day job, and still work the trade and get and keep working it. I realized early on that comedy is so challenging that it's a long-term game.
It is.
takes a long time to get good at this craft. I don't care who you are.
Yeah, if-
no one can even just do a couple of years and be great at being a really great pro stand-up. You just can't.
I was a 12-year overnight sensation in New York, is how I describe it.
That's how it is, and that's still young.
Yeah.
12 years is still young.
Oh, I still think I'm on the brink of a second great chapter.
Yeah, you're just coming out of the womb at that point.
Yeah.
As far as I see.
So now, real question here. What was your first moment where you felt great, like this was worth it? Do you have a moment in your head?
Oh, there's tons of moments.
Yeah?
Like that. Oh, are you kidding me? You go to a mic and you get that one laugh, and that you can't fall asleep at night because of the one laugh. Or you come and you bum and you can't wait to get back on the horse again. It's we're comics. We're fucked up. We're flawed individuals. And all we do, we just enjoy the art of comedy and getting that laugh, and then getting more laughs, and working the joke, and working the structure of the joke. It's just a whole process. And I learned early on you could do that, but then I'm thinking, and I take workshops and this and that, but you think, wow, how do you get the really good quality stage time? Like even to this day, I can't, I'm not, maybe I could, but I can't just walk into like the Comedy Store, the Improv, or that factory and then get put up, So how do you become a good comedian to a great elite comedian,
And is that when you started looking at creating a space?
Yeah, well, comedy is the only art form. You can't go up on top of a mountain for 10,000 hours in practice and come down and be any better. The only way you get good at stand-up comedy is performing in front of a live audience, and that's how you grow. It's a conversation with a group of people in an audience, and there's so many things happen at once. You have to. How do you get that? Like I can't go into the top-notch clubs and get the comedy stage time.
Right.
How do you get these really great shows? So I think, so I put it in my head, honest to God, I said, what? Fuck it. I'll just get my own club.
Okay, and that's before the pandemic.
That was way before the pandemic.
Okay.
But it was up my head for a couple of years.
Right.
But it's there. I know it's going to happen because it's in my head. And I'm working out. We look at places here, you look at here, and and you're shopping, and it's crazy to find the right spot and all that. And I kept saying that, you know, all my friends were going to go in there with me and all this stuff. We said, hey, you know, I think North Hollywood, there really needs a really good club in North Hollywood right there. And I'd say, you can't do that. There's competition nearby. And that's no good. And I said, no, we'll create our own comedy district right here in NoHo. It's so great. It's in the valley. And they kept saying, no, you can't do that. I said, well, no, we're going to do it.
Well, you created a district.
No. So what happened was, so this place came up for the sale. It was the Le Petit Chateau. It's a French restaurant. It's been here since 1931.
Was it always French for the
Since
first?
1964, it was Le Petit Chateau.
Yeah.
It's a French restaurant. A French couple had it. It was a real artsy-fartsy place with the
Would you
plaques.
describe that? Because some people listen to this only on audio. How would you describe the building? Because I have trouble finding the right words.
It's an old Renaissance-looking
Renaissance.
type building, maybe a French chateau type building, but real old, all wooden. But inside it was all this gaudy artwork and your statues and the tablecloths, and it was, you know, real dark. It was like real old school French restaurant where you get the real little portions for $1 million, you know. But this club had a distinction because where it's located near Warner Brothers Studios, it's where all the industry people used to come and hang out. In
Right.
fact, if you look behind you and see where that mantle is,
Right.
there's a picture of Bob Hope on top of the mantle.
Right.
That's where the Bob Hope table was.
Bob Hope used to come here for lunch.
Yeah, he lives right down the street in Toluca Lake.
Okay.
And this is where Bob Hope used to hang out. All the industry people. This place is well known. That's
What have there?
yeah.
Because you have the history plaque on the door.
That's right. So then that's right. And so when we got the place, we closed the deal. Finally, so we got the place, and you see the vision. So we got the place and we closed the deal the last day of February 2020.
Wait, you closed the deal at the end of February.
February
You put your
2020.
money into your dream, and the world shut down 2 weeks later.
11 days to be exact.
Oh my God.
And you know, we had a bunch of investors. We had a big plan. We had the plan. We got this place, a 30-day plan. We were going to open the place, first show, April 1st, 2020. COVID hits, and oh my God. You know how you like come home and you turn the kitchen lights on and all the roaches run away?
Yeah.
That was the investors.
Oh my
So
gosh.
we were left holding the bag.
And you put a chunk of your
Oh, yeah,
life
I
into
put my
it.
whole life savings in, but we needed the investors and all that to come in.
Right.
It's a whole risky thing, you know. We needed a miracle,
And
and lo and behold, we got one.
what was your miracle?
The Supreme Court of California rules that you cannot prohibit people from congregating inside for religious purposes. So that very day, yours truly got online, and for $29, I became an ordained minister.
Universal Life Church?
That's exactly.
Oh my God, me too, fellow pastor. Fellow pastor.
And then what we did, we started every Sunday the Church of Comedy. We'd come in, we'd tape sets, we did outside, and we'd put them online. and
Okay, there had to be challenges to that though. Did anybody bust your chops?
I wanted to get busted. Being the attorney,
Yeah.
I said, hey, I got a defense. I would have got the free publicity.
On your free lawyer, yeah.
Yeah, it didn't happen.
Okay.
We didn't get busted.
Did you
but-
get any bad press on it?
No, I didn't get any press, really.
Well, I heard about I heard about you before, and maybe it was through a blog. You're right. It all feels like it's.
No, we got some bad press. People who don't go in there, it's a freaking an incubator, and you know, they're just you get it all.
So
get
you
all the
opened up.
anti-vax,
Were people
anti-vax.
showing up to those shows?
Oh my God, it was unbelievable. So then outside we built a patio with pergolas.
Gorgeous, yeah.
Gorgeous patio, outside stage. So what we did, when the government allowed us, we started doing outside shows outside.
Okay.
And we were the only game in town was Zoom, or you
Yeah.
do the parking lot shows where you beep your horn instead of
Painful.
laugh.
Painful.
The worst ever. I mean, it was terrible. So we had the only game in town, outdoor shows. It was well lit. It was awesome. And we did that for a few months outside. These shows it was the greatest thing in the world. And then when we got finally to move inside, oh my God, it was like, that's why we do this.
Okay.
And what we did for this club, and you performed here, so you know.
Oh, I know it.
And by the way, he's super funny, by the way.
You're kind of say so. Thank you.
Since I'm a comedian, for everything from the height of the stages to the configuration of the room to the seating, it was all geared for one reason. What's great for the comedian?
Yeah.
Because I want to grow and I want to have fun and so we made this a comics club. Comics come hang out, where comics get up, and it's just really fun. And we create a real good vibe. We get super famous people here. You know, we had Dave Chateau, Kevin Hart.
Chappelle came in here too. I've been here for Caroline Ray. I know Daryl Hannon's been here.
You name it, they've been here. Everybody's here. Because every time a comedian comes performs here, we're like, oh my God, I've never experienced more electricity in a comedy room. In fact, Kevin Hart's been here a bunch of times in our other room. We have two inside.
The little room's fun, yeah.
It's all no.
That's the Felix room we call it.
St. Felix room, different, but St. Felix room, and known all over the country already is the best small room in the country. That room, it's.
You know what I love about it? Because if this looks like a castle, the stage is in the turret. That's the part.
It's like being in two different
It's
adventures.
the most unique stage you're going to perform in as a comedian.
Yeah, and it's a low. It's unbelievable, and it turns out it's engineering wise. There's a reason for it, the way the room's set up, and it's just so much fun. It's small and it's intimate, and of course, in the room we're sitting in now, second to none. It's like you're only as good as your last show. In my mind's last night's show, you were here. I think Friday night.
Friday night was a killer show.
Friday night was killer. Last night, unbelievable. It's just. The shows here are just so great. The audience loves it. The food's really great here, and the vibe here is really great. It's just there's no better comedy club to perform in and to experience comedy as an audience member.
Now I know I could already tell there are people piling up in the in the living room, and I promise to keep it short. Moreover, I have one really smart question for you, and I think we hit it, which is you put everything you are worth into a dream, and literally the universe. God sent a disease that almost crushed your disease. What advice do you give to people who put everything into a dream and face an obstacle?
You know, for me personally, and God forbid, I never got COVID personally. People, so I shouldn't jinx myself on that. But for me, in the long run, I guess the answer to your question is. Don't look a gift horse in the mouth. Maybe that's the thing. I don't know. Whatever it is, the bad actually turns out to be the greatest thing that ever happened. COVID was the best thing that ever happened to this club because I didn't have to deal with investors telling me what to do and all that.
Right.
It's ours. It's our community. No one can tell us what to do. We can make mistakes on our own, but nobody's looking over our shoulder. Nobody's saying, "Hey, don't bring this person in. Have this on the." It's just. For me,
it became your thing, and you got control.
And I still keep my day job to keep it open because it's our playground. It's a comics playground, and that's so when people that come here, they get it's like going to an art museum in a way.
Yeah, it's a beautiful building.
Going to the greatest food of any comedy club I've ever been to, and I've been all over the world, every comedy club you name it. The food here is better than any comedy club that I've ever been to. And then the vibe here. Everybody says 100% the vibe.
I have not met anybody I don't like at your club. And I've done your festival. I've hung out with you. I've hung out at the bar, and I've hung out in the back room. Everybody's been incredibly kind to me here.
Yeah, and it's fun. It's fun to hang. Being a stand-up comedian is the greatest thing in the world, and to be able to share that with my fellow comedians who I love. And to be able to share that with the people, give them a real quality place to come see comedy. That's not, people with their noses high in the air and obnoxious or play the political games and all this. We're down to earth.
Yeah,
we're fun.
I don't like the politics.
And it's just and you know what? Look at and we're killing it because the people love it. And as you experience,
I love it.
What do we got? And rooms are packed every show.
And putting the button on this, what are we at now? We're doing comedy, 6 nights a week here, 5 nights a week?
It depends on that. It depends.
But definitely Friday, Saturdays, and Sundays.
We do our in-house shows. So our best shows are Friday, Saturday, and Sundays.
Okay.
Friday, Saturday is the most popular show, Felix and Friends, on Saturday nights.
Okay.
Because that's where we put all the headliners in. It's just great. It demands that. They're always sold out. And then Friday night, the show you were in.
Killer show. And that's all ComedyChateau.com.
Yes,
and if we want to get tickets, and it's at Comedy Chateau on Instagram. Felix, thank you, my friend. I know you got to run. I know we got to work, but you treat me like family every time I come out here.
And you keep coming back because you know what? We fucking love you, my friend.
I love you too. All right, folks. Listen, new show. First of all, the Comedy Chateau. Check it out. I'll put all the links in the show notes. Even if you're never coming to LA, follow them for great comedy content on Instagram. And for me, new podcasts every Monday and Wednesday. If you're an LA comic who is here watching just for Felix or listening just for Felix, hit subscribe. I'm amazing too. And until next time, folks, new shows every Monday and Wednesday, except for when there's not. Good night, Los Angeles.
That's Felix McNulty.
Oh yeah, sure. Yeah, it's about Felix McNulty. He's a comic too. We did a lot of owner talk, but dude, you heard the story. Felix McNulty on Instagram, and I'll put that link in there too. All right. Good night, Los Angeles.